I've been here for 3 years and I've had 2 contracts already. I've just started my third.
I'm permanent, but we call ourselves continuing because we are sort of dependent on the student numbers.
I'm permanent and I've worked there for just over 10 years.
I've just been casualised. I was on a fixed-term contract the last couple of years, 3 different fixed-term contracts, as a matter of fact.
The contract was for 9 months. I worked in a call centre and apart from that I was a student.
I started casual for a year and a half and then moved into a different role that's full-time.
A few different jobs during that time.
I was on a 2-year fixed-term contract and now I'm on a continuing contract.
It is permanent, but we're about to undergo a restructure, so we don't know.
So what's that, 10, 12 contracts?
4 over the last 5 years, yeah.
Well, I've been here since the early 80s, so I've been here a long time.
I've been a casual now for 8 years.
I've worked at the university for about 7 years, but only the last 3.5 years as a permanent member of staff.
So you can be paid on a casual basis, paid by the hour, but you can't have a casual lease on an apartment. You can't have casual children that you just have 1 hour here, 1 a week. Your whole life is impacted by being a casual. You can't plan anything. At the most you can plan for 13 weeks at a time, and most of that time is squirreling money away in case there's a dry period.
Working casually, I actually felt there wasn't really any strengths.
The good thing, I guess, is that I get to work and get to teach and get to teach things I enjoy teaching and do research that I enjoy doing. The bad thing is that when they decide that they don't have the budget for it, they don't have a job, which is right now.
I was told last year that in light of the staff cuts, they would not be converting any fixed-term contracts into continuing work.
Because you're casual, you feel like, well, if I'm not here, they're going to have to get someone else, and they will, and then I'll lose my job.
I think that it's a myth that casual work provides flexibility. You have no flexibility whatsoever because your timetable is determined, and if you can't take that class, then you have no work. It's not like if you get sick, you either turn up and take that class or you don't get paid that week. So there's absolutely no flexibility in casual work.
There's nothing really good about being casual. People suggest, you've got flexibility in time, but that means you're not working, which means you're not earning an income. If you're living in Sydney, how are you supposed to be able to pay your $30,000 a year rent? Got to learn those. Not on the wages you get here because you never get enough hours. And if you're doing the hours, then you're not doing anything else.
I have to live a long way away from the university because I'm not paid particularly well as a casual at the moment, so...
You certainly fear if you take a holiday or you take time off if you're sick, that if you disappear from the campus you won't be offered work.
Insecurity is the biggest problem with casual work, especially once I had a daughter. You start to worry about things a lot more.
You're only paid session by session and there's a lot of additional work that really is not covered by the contract.
There are good things about being a casual on campus, and they all relate to other casuals on campus. So about being involved with casual networks and the solidarity that other casuals show each other through these times, they really understand. So I think that's been the best thing, is meeting other really talented academics and researchers who are passionate about what they do and do it despite doing it under very challenging situations. And I'm really starting to get an appreciation of what it's like to try to make a life as a casual worker, and it sucks.
Even once you're continuing, you definitely have the sense that there's no such thing as permanent job anymore. So there's definitely insecurities and there's a lot of pressure, workload pressure on to produce.
The trigger is obviously the enterprise agreement and the fact that they're absolutely gutting any rights that we possibly would have, but that's only the trigger. It is basically a build-up of years and years and years of really neglect of the staff and neglect of the student body.
What they're trying to do with editing the enterprise agreement now, that's getting rid of a lot of job security, it's getting rid of the traditional workloads formulas.
They're trying to get rid of a lot of full-time positions to get them casual, and just the rights that they're trying to take away from us it's just not on.
Such as the reduction to sick leave, which they've been talking about, and also the removal of review processes in terms of redundancies and performance management. Also just concern about the union not having space on campus anymore if that change goes through.
Well, the way we seem to be going is there's fewer and fewer
continuing jobs. It's become more and more casualised. I think that's driven a wedge between the staff.
Things have been on hold for us for, again, about 18 months. So nobody knows what the future is going to be like. We don't know what our structure is going to look like. We don't know what jobs we're going to be doing very soon once the change management proposal comes through. So it's really a complete air of uncertainty in our area, and it's affecting people because it's been going on for so long.
Well, it makes sense. You've got a divided staff. People are a little bit frightened. You can get anything done you want. I mean, you know, our manager's very corporate, and I think he'd love not to have continuing.
Every contract I sign, the conditions are worse. You have to fight. You're not fighting for better conditions all the time. It feels like you're fighting against having your conditions taken away.
You know, there's not really any level of surety for the future.
We don't know at the moment until you get to see what our change proposal is.
There's no such thing as permanent, and with the redundancies last year, you never really know what's coming in the future.
I think they need to create ongoing positions for staff.
I know a lot of people that lose jobs and don't get jobs or can't get jobs, and I don't really know anyone that's got a job in the time that I've been, around. So just don't bother. It's basically what I get told.
I don't expect to find employment in Australia in my field.
I have plans now to finish my PhD and actually leave the sector. Yeah, so I'm here and I want to support other people to get better conditions for what they're doing, but I'm 31 and I don't have any savings or anything, and I want to have children and a family and all those things, and so I just have to leave the sector and do something else. Sorry, I didn't think I was going to cry.
At the end of the year, I will be looking for another job.
To be honest with you, I'm going to start looking for work outside of the university.
A reduction in the conditions, particularly towards the work choices style, that'll make this place essentially untenable. I won't want to stay in this field.
I don't see why we should give up any rights or protections whatsoever.
I'm really questioning whether I want to pursue a career in academia.
This university's getting the fight out of me. They're not going to abuse me and treat me like crap for years on end.
Hey, you! We got your boy!